What if one small Plymouth Barracuda helped redefine what a factory drag car could be? Why did Chrysler build a tiny batch around its legendary 426 Hemi? And what happened when these machines hit the biggest NHRA stage in 1968? This is the story of the B029 Hemi Barracuda and the racing breakthrough that gave this rare Plymouth its legendary place in drag racing history. Before the B029, Chrysler's Hemi Barracuda experiment. Before Chrysler could sell a Hemi Barracuda to racers, its engineers had to answer a difficult question. Could this compact Plymouth actually handle the brutal 426 Hemi? The experiment began with a 1967 Barracuda Formula S, which became a Chrysler R&D test car. Engineers Tom Hoover and Dick Maxwell transformed into a serious development machine, adding the Hemi and modifying the chassis to cope with the engine's enormous power. The prototype reportedly reached the 10-second range during testing, showing Chrysler that the idea was more than a wild experiment. But this wasn't yet the famous B029. It was the beginning of the development story. Chrysler now had to turn that engineering gamble into a production-based super stock car that could meet NHRA requirements and fight on the drag strip. The birth of the B029 Super Stock Barracuda. The prototype had answered one question. The Barracuda could handle the Hemi. Now Chrysler had to build something racers could actually campaign. That became the 1968 B029 Super Stock Barracuda. This wasn't simply a regular Barracuda with a 426 dropped under the hood. Chrysler created a highly specialized factory package aimed squarely at superstock competition. Weight-saving components, fiberglass body panels, competition suspension, and a serious rear axle helped turn the compact Plymouth into a purpose-focused drag machine. The 426 Hemi brought 425 horsepower on paper. But the real story was the combination of power, reduced weight, gearing, and race-oriented engineering. For Chrysler, this was a bold experiment in turning a production car into a factory-built weapon. And soon, racers would find out exactly what it could do. What made the Hemi Barracuda so different? The secret wasn't just the Hemi. It was the entire package. Chrysler took a Barracuda and removed weight wherever the superstock formula allowed, using fiberglass components and other competition-focused equipment. Chrysler material put the car at roughly 3,000 pounds. A remarkable figure for a machine carrying a 426 cubic inch Hemi. The engine used 12.5 to 1 compression, dual 4-barrel carburetors, and a cross-ram intake designed to feed the big V8 under hard acceleration. A specialized rear axle and aggressive gearing completed the formula. This was engineering aimed at one thing: getting down the quarter mile as quickly as possible. But specifications only tell part of the story. The real test was waiting at the drag strip, where horsepower meant nothing if the car couldn't turn that potential into wins. From Chrysler's workshop to the drag strip, once the B029 reached racers, the experiment became a real-world test. One of the most important names attached to the program was Arlen Vanke, whose Hemi Barracuda quickly proved it belonged among serious superstock machinery. At the 1968 U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis, Vanke drove the Barracuda through the superstock competition and defeated Wally Booth's Chevrolet Camaro in the final. That result mattered because it wasn't a magazine estimate or a factory promise. The new Plymouth had just won on one of drag racing's biggest stages. And Vanke's victory wasn't the end of the story. The Barracuda was beginning to demonstrate that Chrysler's unusual factory package could compete and win against established superstock rivals. But one victory still left an important question. Was this a breakthrough or simply one extraordinary weekend? Arlen Vanke and the 1968 U.S. Nationals, Indianapolis, gave the B029 its defining early moment. Arlen Vanke's Hemi Barracuda reached the Superstock Eliminator Final at the 1968 U.S. Nationals, where he faced Wally Booth's Chevrolet Camaro. Vanke came away with the victory, giving the new Plymouth a major win almost immediately after entering the national spotlight. That mattered for more than bragging rights. The U.S. Nationals was one of the biggest events on the NHRA calendar, And beating an established Chevrolet competitor showed that Chrysler's factory Hemi package wasn't merely built to look intimidating in a showroom. It could deliver under championship-level pressure. More importantly, Vanke's Barracuda became evidence that the new factory package car strategy was working. But Chrysler wasn't finished proving the point. The following season would make the Barracuda's success even harder to dismiss as a fluke. When the Barracuda proved it wasn't a fluke. One big victory can always be explained away. Maybe the driver was exceptional. Maybe the conditions were perfect. Maybe the competition simply had a bad day. But the Hemi Barracuda kept showing up. During the 1968 season, other B029 cars were turning in serious super stock performances, while racers such as Ronnie Sox were pushing the package to its limits. The numbers were beginning to tell a larger story. This wasn't just a powerful Plymouth with a famous engine. It was a competitive factory-built package designed around the demands of drag racing. And that distinction mattered. Chrysler had created a car that private racers could take directly into serious competition, rather than starting with an ordinary street Barracuda and transforming it themselves. The next season would provide an even stronger test of that idea. Ronnie Sox and the Barracuda's 1969 Indy success. If 1968 introduced the B029 to the national spotlight, 1969 showed that its success had staying power. Ronnie Sox, one of the most celebrated drivers of the era, campaigned a Hemi Barracuda as part of the Sox and Martin effort. At the 1969 U.S. Nationals, Sox took the Super Stock victory, putting another Hemi Barracuda at the top of one of NHRA's biggest events. The significance wasn't that the exact same car necessarily repeated Vanke's achievement. It was that the Barracuda package itself continued to prove competitive at the highest level. 2 consecutive U.S. Nationals victories with Hemi Barracudas made it much harder to dismiss Chrysler's approach as a one-season experiment. The factory package had become a genuine force in super stock. But one question remained. Just how many of these remarkable cars did Chrysler actually build? The 50 versus -70 production mystery. This is where the history gets surprisingly complicated. Ask how many 1968 Hemi Barracudas were built, and you'll find different numbers depending on the source. NHRA's historical account says Chrysler built 50 Hemi Super Stock cars for the 1968 season. Other specialist sources and auction records cite figures around 70 for the Hemi Barracuda program. The important point is that we shouldn't pretend those numbers automatically describe the same thing. Production totals can depend on exactly which cars, configurations, or stages of the program a source is counting. Without stronger primary documentation, the responsible answer is to acknowledge the discrepancy rather than manufacture a neat explanation. Either way, these were extraordinarily uncommon cars. Chrysler wasn't flooding dealerships with Hemi Barracudas. It was producing a very limited competition package for a very specific purpose. And that rarity would become part of a legend. So what actually changed in drag racing? The Hemi Barracuda didn't single-handedly reinvent drag racing, and saying that would oversimplify the history. Its real significance was more specific. Chrysler demonstrated that a manufacturer could build a limited production, competition-focused car around the demands of NHRA Super Stock and put that machine directly into serious national competition. The B029 wasn't merely a street Barracuda with an optional engine. It represented a factory package engineered for performance, produced in small numbers, and proven by racers on the biggest stages. Its success in 1968 and 1969 showed that the strategy worked. Chrysler then continued that approach with other Hemi package cars, including the Hemi Dart. That's the important shift. Manufacturers weren't just selling horsepower anymore. They were building specialized production-based machines with winning at the drag strip in mind. And that philosophy would influence the next chapter of American drag racing. If you're enjoying this story and love the legends of American muscle, hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And there are plenty more forgotten performance icons coming your way. From the Hemi Barracuda to the Hemi Dart. The Barracuda wasn't the end of Chrysler's Factory Super Stock strategy. It was part of a broader push that soon included the 1968 Hemi Dart, another limited production machine built around the same basic philosophy. Take a production body, add Chrysler's most serious racing hardware, and create a car capable of dominating the strip. The Dart wasn't simply a Barracuda with a different badge, and we shouldn't confuse the two. But its arrival showed that Chrysler was willing to apply the package car concept across multiple models. By 1970, a Hemi Dart driven by Ron Mancini won Super Stock at the U.S. Nationals. The Barracuda had helped establish the formula. The Dart showed Chrysler was prepared to keep pushing it. And that raises the final question. How much of that 1968 experiment can still be seen at the drag strip today? Why the B029 still matters at the drag strip. More than half a century later, the 1968 Hemi Barracuda still has a place in organized drag racing. NHRA's SS/AH category preserves the original style 1968 Hemi Dart and Barracuda package cars, allowing these rare machines to compete in a class built around their historic specifications. The modern cars are not simply direct mechanical descendants of the original B029S, but they keep the original factory Super Stock concept alive. NHRA also continues to celebrate these cars through events such as the Sox and Martin Hemi Challenge. That matters because the Barracuda isn't remembered only in museums or collector garages. Its story is still connected to the drag strip itself. The same basic question remains. How quickly can a factory-built machine turn engineering into a winning quarter-mile pass? The 1968 Hemi Barracuda wasn't just another muscle car. It proved how far a factory could push a production-based racer when winning was the priority. Its victories, rarity, and lasting place in Super Stock history made it legendary. If you want more stories behind America's greatest cars, make sure you subscribe.